All right, so we got to talk about Jurassic Park 30th anniversary.
Yep.
We went ahead and got tickets.
Yep.
I had the best seats in the house this time. I was super excited about that. And to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be not an empty theater in a negative point of view, but almost empty to the point where there was just like a lot of space everywhere.
Yeah, didn't think there was going to be that many people going to see Jurassic Park after 30 years.
It was packed.
Yeah.
It was jam-packed, guys. I was so surprised.
Yeah.
People was there with their families, their kids. I saw grandparents there. I saw almost like so many different walks of life at this movie. And it made me smile so hard because I was like, man, this is a 30-year-old movie.
Right, yeah.
And to see people that excited to see a 30-year-old movie was just bananas to me.
Yeah,
like at the theater. Actually paid their money, actually got dressed, jumped in a car, drove to go watch the movie, and to see that they really appreciate this piece of art and cinema. It was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and it is a classic, so
it is.
It's not like it was some random movie.
But still, during the streaming era, it's so easy. You can watch Jurassic Park on Amazon Prime. You could just rent it online. I
think that's the point that I really hope people are kind of taking in, that cinema is different than watching a movie on your phone or watching a movie in your house. Like it's an what do you call it? Not interactive. What's the word I'm looking for? Immersive. It's an immersive experience that you're sitting around with other people and taking it in all at once, and that's the difference between something like what Jurassic Park can do still to this day. Versus, just any random movie
directed
on
by
a streaming service.
Steven Spielberg. It was actually in 3D. I thought that was actually cool.
Yeah, that was actually surprising too.
Yeah. It was very surprising. It was in 3D. Of course, the movie. The crazy thing about Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movies, but it's one of those things like, listening to Beyonce or Michael Jackson. You don't have to listen to them every day in order for it to be your favorite movie, because you just already know how goated and how much of a classic their catalog is. The same with Steven Spielberg. I haven't watched this movie in a very long time, especially since I became a filmmaker.
Right.
And watching it through the lenses of a filmmaker, I even have more appreciation for this movie now than I had, obviously when I was a kid. Just the storytelling, the effort, the technology,
definitely the execution,
the directing, the characters, everything was executed at a very high level. And this came out in 1993.
Right. Yeah. So I was like 2 years old.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
So this came out in 1993, and I remember Jurassic Park. I remember all the iconic scenes, right? The dinosaurs when they first see them and stuff like that. But I didn't necessarily remember the full movie. Yes, I know the log line about the park, but the story was so good. The story makes sense. Everything connected. The pacing was good. Jurassic Park, 30 years later, is still a beast.
Yeah, it still holds up.
Still, like Jurassic Park, and one thing I liked about it stood the test of time. You wouldn't even known if Jurassic Park was released in 1993 or if it was released today.
Right, yeah. It almost wasn't even dated. Like, the only thing that really dated it was, the computers.
The computers, and there was no iPhones.
Yeah.
And then Samuel L. Jackson smoking all them cigarettes.
Right, yeah. That was, the only thing that really dated it.
They used to smoke everywhere back then in the 90s.
Oh, yeah,
they
smoking
in
indoors.
The elevator. They smoking at the restaurant. They smoking while they doing their job.
Right.
So, but it was a wonderful movie, man, and I'm just so happy that I finally got the chance to see it in theaters. And it's one of those special movies. I actually have a very special story with Jurassic Park, and I feel like this may have contributed to me wanting to be a filmmaker or storytelling. As a young kid, I always was drawn to cameras and stories, and it always started with the Bible, with Moses and Noah, and I'm about to say Romeo and Juliet, Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I remember my grandma. I didn't realize how big my grandma and my uncle was. They love movies, and some of the best movies I've seen at her house.
Right.
I watched The Matrix with my grandma. I watched Jurassic Park for the first time with my grandma and my uncle. The Nutty Professor, Big Mama House.
Yeah.
So just having those sentiment moments with my grandma, watching these iconic movies, and then years later, now I'm a filmmaker.
Right.
It's something I hold very dear to my heart. And I remember as a kid, the scene when they first got there and they saw Jurassic, the real dinosaurs in real life. I remember that feeling. I remember like, oh man, I want to go there. Like I couldn't believe it. I actually thought it was real. I was a kid. I didn't know.
Right, yeah.
And 30 years later, they gave me that same feeling. And of course, you know, nostalgia is involved, but it gave me that same feeling. And that's how I know it's just such a good movie. And everybody, I always say this because I got to shout out everybody who worked on that film, the director, the writer, the person who wrote the book, the engineers, costume and actors, everybody. You guys did such a wonderful job, man. It's one of those movies where it just never gets old.
Yeah, it really does hold up to the test of time. And, you know, I really think you can attribute that to the use of practicals. Like, those practicals looked so realistic, like the animatronics that they used.
From 1993, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they may have, like, went back and touched it up a bit, but still, this is 1993. Right.
Yeah.
And one thing what Steven Spielberg said, you can go watch all the BTS on YouTube. They have a whole making of movie. I watched all of that. And one thing he said, he wanted to, Steven Spielberg wanted to go as practical as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like they have CGI in there, a very small percentage, but everything is like practical. So you got people inside the dinosaur suits. So like when the lady character, I can't remember her name, Lorna Dern, her character, when she stuck her hand into the dinosaur poop, she realized the dinosaur wasn't well or something like that. There was actually people inside that suit, moving different sections of that suit.
Okay.
And, you know, so some of it was animatronics and some of it was like puppetry.
Okay.
So
Dang,
that's crazy.
Cool. Right,
so you got people, because he wanted it to feel real life-like as much as possible. So in real life, you just don't move like this. You know, you may do like this or your hand, you know. So I thought that was very interesting. So, man, I've been, Chris could attest to this, I've been watching, like I've watched the BTS before, but every time I go to a movie, I love to watch the BTS and just learn as much as possible and read the script and do X, Y, and Z. It's an amazing movie still, man. Not that I ever doubted that it wouldn't be, but it's the GOAT.
I mean, you know, there's certain movies where you look back and you just kind of like, yes, it doesn't hit the same, you know?
Yeah.
But that movie, it felt like it could have came out today.
Man, you know? That movie hits, and the score, everything from the logo. And it was such a masterful movie as far as what they did with marketing.
Right, yeah.
It was a amusement park. So some of the product that they had inside the movie was things that they was selling, you know, their merchandise.
Exactly.
Selling the T-shirts, the little dinosaurs.
I think like plates, decorative plates or something.
Yeah. I remember playing the Jurassic Park game on Sega at Chuck E. Cheese and all of that stuff.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know they went that far out.
Yeah, they sure did. Crazy. I just burped all in this mic too. I said, but yeah, they really did. So just that aspect of it, I feel like this movie may have like took the merchandising to the next level.
Right. Yeah.
First was Star Wars, and then I would say Jurassic Park, man.
Okay.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense. So we're gonna move forward. So let's jump into some of the things we really love. What did you love about Jurassic Park? Without repeating some of the stuff that we said already.
Without, what did we say?
Yeah.
So one thing that I really am impressed by when it comes to not even just this movie, just Steven Spielberg's movies in general. Usually there's a distinct taste or a distinct style between a movie that's a blockbuster versus a movie that's like a art house cinema movie, like it's trying to be artistic or it's trying to be deep or something. Steven Spielberg perfectly knows how to like stand right in the middle, and that's what I loved about Jurassic Park. Was it was such a big blockbuster that still felt like art, you know.
It still felt like cinema.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas like some of the blockbusters today,
they're like pure entertainment.
For the sake, just for the sake of pure entertainment. The story will be like mediocre, and then you have all of the money going to the visual effects, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. That's something, and not Steven Spielberg is the only person that can do it, but he's the one that does it the most consistently.
Right.
Like it's almost like every single time he's able to do that.
He's the GOAT.
That's something that I really enjoyed about the movie.
GOAT. Like, man, one thing I do like about Steven Spielberg catalog is that he have so many different type of movies. Like he could go from a serious movie like the Snyder's List.
Right. No, Schindler's List.
Schindler's List.
Yeah.
I was about to say the Snyder Cut. But Back to the Future that he produced, the Man in Black that he produced, to a Jurassic Park,
and then like Minority Report,
Report, Saving Private Ryan. Like these are all
Ready Player
bangers.
One. Yeah,
Ready Player One is so underrated.
It is.
If you guys haven't seen Ready Player One, directed by Steven, you guys got to go watch it.
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's going to hit even more today, dealing with virtual reality and AI and things like that. You guys got to watch it. It's a great movie.
That movie probably was like ahead of its time a little bit.
Should be streaming on HBO Max. You guys got to watch a great movie.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to say? What was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene is definitely when the T-Rex show up. When the T-Rex show up, that scene was just so perfect. Everything from just the like the ominous presence when they're just like, you feel that, like all the shaking, to the part where the dude just dips on the kids. He's just like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Like
in the bathroom.
Right. And then you got
spoiler alert. But
it's 30 years. Nah.
You should have seen Jurassic Park by now. But
or everybody would have told you all this already.
Right, you would have seen plenty of. But yeah.
Yeah, and then like how Jeff Goldblum and then I can't remember the other guy, Sam Neill. I can't remember his name.
Sam Neill.
Oh, Sam Neill. Yeah, like how they started. They were like, okay, we need to like take this into our own hands and try to save these kids. Like that whole. The
other dude was just a whole coward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all of that was just fire to me. I just love the way they did it.
One of my favorite parts, I would say that was my favorite part too. One of my favorite parts is when we see the real life dinosaurs for the first time.
Yeah.
That scene just blows my mind because they play that little iconic music and they pan up and you like,
yeah.
Right? But another favorite scene of mine. I said another favorite my scene. I'm about to go viral just by that little audio right there. But another favorite scene of mine is definitely going to be the sequence, like you said, the night when the dinosaur come, the T-Rex, and start messing everything up.
Yeah.
That scene, the suspense, it's almost kind of like got horror. But it's not as gory.
Exactly.
But it was some jump scares in there, and I jumped. Like, I felt the terror that they was feeling in that moment.
Exactly right.
That's hard to do.
It is.
But another reason why I feel like they pulled it off was a lot of rehearsing, but there was also a lot of pre-visuals. Pre-vis is basically, you can do it with computers, you can do it, rehearsals with cameras, but you try to get the movie, you just pre-vis everything and try to nail everything down as far as troubleshooting and problem solving and things like that. So when you do shoot the movie, it's going to be tight and as possible.
Exactly.
So any mistakes that you may have, you can fix it then, and probably you will get the result of what they got with that T-Rex sequence.
Right.
Because like I was watching the BTS, a lot of people be like, Shan, she's so passionate, or she be going out her way, or she go over the top. But I don't play. I don't play when it comes to my movies. I don't play when it comes to my art. I take it very serious. And when I was watching Steven Spielberg, they had dinosaur toys.
Right.
And they was blocking with dinosaur toys and playing with different camera shots with dinosaur toys.
Right.
Crazy. They also did like a previs where it was like a stop motion. So that whole kitchen scene, the iconic, that's my other favorite. The iconic kitchen scene with the kids and the T-Rex and their, the cat and mouse.
The Velociraptors.
Oh, well, I'm not even about to pronounce Velociraptors.
The
Velociraptors.
Yeah.
With that scene, they did previs, but they a lot of their previs was like stop motion and things like that.
Right.
Another favorite, just it's not. Well, cinematography obviously is fire. The practicals is fire, but it was just the execution of those scenes and the emotion that it evoked. That's what it is. It evokes this emotion out of you,
and that's very important about any movie. Like you got to be able to pull some kind of emotion, whether I'm laughing, crying, scared. You got to be able to pull that emotion out.
To do that.
And
one
of the one of the biggest key elements is suspension of disbelief.
Right,
and I feel like this movie made sure it went 150% in that direction of suspension of disbelief. I mean, you got to. You can't have little clay dinosaurs jumping around. And like, you're not going to take it seriously. You're going to be like, what are y'all doing? But it's like, no, these are real dinosaurs that people are really trying to make sure they don't die from.
Right.
It's got to be as authentic as you can possibly get it, you know?
Very authentic. And another story, when I was watching the BTS that happened on set, is there was a hurricane in the middle of production, like a very bad one. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And they had to like stop. You know, everybody had to go to a safe area. And I'm talking so fast, and I'm just so excited. So like my mind is just like firing off because this is like one of my favorite movies. But yeah, they had a hurricane, and just seeing those people and that experience that they had together creating this movie. Yeah, that's something I want. Just that. It's almost like the Full House family of cinema. You know, I can see how much pride they have talking about, you know, it was a hurricane, and Dan, he didn't wake up in time. Just that. That's the type of filmmaking that I'm after, man. Those type of experiences, that's what makes it worthwhile. Right. And then it's being so successful. Obviously, we all want our movies to be successful, but they nailed it. Like, I learned a lot. And you know another thing that I learned? What? We got those tools available to us now in our hand or on our laptop that they had while making Jurassic Park.
Not even had, you know, some back then, especially in like the late 80s, they had to like actually develop that technology themselves. Yes. Like for the sake of a movie, you had to write a computer generated, like a computer graphics tool. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to do that no more. You got Adobe right there.
So guess what, guys? You have the ability, even with the limited resources, you have the ability to make your Jurassic Park today, right now.
Ain't no excuses.
That is mind-blowing to me. Yep. That inspires me because I'm looking like, whoa, I do my previs. Whoa, I'm actually about to get into stop motion. Whoa, I'm blocking with Barbie dolls.
Right.
Man. It's just a matter of fact. We just got to get out there.
Exactly.
Make the thing you want to make. Tell the story you want to tell. Yep. And actually put forth effort. Learn your craft. Learn how to tell a good story. Learn the elements that go into storytelling and things like that. So it was great, man. I'm about to say what are some things that you didn't like, but we ain't
honestly,
about to go there. Yeah.
There's nothing I didn't like about that movie.
You don't like about this movie. This movie is perfect. 10 out of 10. There is another story when I saw they was doing auditions for the main character, the female character.
Laura Dern character? Huh? Laura Dern character?
Laura Dern.
Okay.
And Gwyneth Paltrow, I saw her audition tape for this, and also Helen Hunt.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like any of them could have. Yeah.
So I want to know why Laura Dern got this part. Yeah. Not saying she did terrible, but I can see all three of them in this role.
It's interesting. I can definitely see all three of them.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I thought that was interesting, but yeah, Jurassic Park, it was amazing. The storytelling, the moments, all of those iconic scenes and the moments and the feeling. And I'm just so happy they got the chance to finally see it in theater.
Yeah, same.
Yep, Anything else before we start talking about Jurassic Park? Because I can keep talking about it all day.
Nah, I'm good.
We good? All right, guys. That is roll credits, Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I would say go see it, but I don't even know if it's still in theaters.
Probably not. But another thing, one more thing. So this movie is a 30-year-old movie. Yeah. And we went on Cinema Day. Tickets was $4, right?
Right.
I heard that they're on track to gross $3 million.
Yeah. So
in
imagine
today's time where other movies are struggling, this movie was able to make $3 million. And that's just from the movies.
Exactly.
Because you know they re-release merch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they didn't drop like a limited edition Steven Spielberg Lego set. I actually saw one of my old professors. He got it. Man, he probably got it for at least for $30. They selling that mug on eBay for like $100 to $200 now. I'm so jealous. I'm like, dang, why? You know, I want it. But yeah, man, Jurassic Park, amazing movie, and we have to talk about it. So that's it.
All right.